thank you very much for inviting me to this conference and giving me the opportunity to present this work here. It is the first time I'm speaking about this topic because it is a quite new one, and we began to develop this new concept with Lutz and Christian, and it was not easy during the Corona time. We couldn't meet. It was all online, but in the end, we think that this new concept could be really very helpful. I will try to explain why I'm thinking so. This is the short outline of the presentation. First of all, I will give you some preliminary definitions, and apologize that the talk is quite dry compared to the screens, and it is really, but it is so. I'm a mathematician, and my topics are quite dry, but I'm willing to try to explain it as simple as I can. Then results, of course, and at the end, conclusions and prospects, what should be or could be done with this concept. First of all, the question we are very interested in, all of us, what is a code? And there are very different definitions of this corresponding to different sciences. And this definition, or this is still not the definition, will come in the next slide. This definition is from the theory of formal languages. It is a definition which is just not our definition. It is common in this theory for many decades. And first of all, let me introduce some notations. We consider an arbitrary finite alphabet and denote it as sigma. And then we consider three constructions over this alphabet. First of all, sigma plus. These are just all words over this alphabet without the empty word. Then sigma asterisk, it's all words with an empty word. And last one, this sigma n, it's words of length n. Then the definition is simple. If we consider any concatenation of the words over sigma, or words of different lengths, then this concatenation, of course, without comma, this concatenation can be read in only one way. This is the classical definition from the theory of formal languages. And if we consider only words of certain length, bigger or equal to 2, then we will call it L letter words, and it is a L letter words code. And a small remark. It is always a code in the sense of this definition. If we fix the length of words, we can always deconstruct it in only one way. Example, if we consider the simplest alphabet we have, 0 and 1, then and consider this mixed set, it is clear now that it is only reasonable to consider, for this problem, to consider only mixed sets of words, because sets of words of the same length are always codes. It's not interesting. So we consider this set, and it is not a code in the sense of the definition above, because we can represent this word as a concatenation of these two. If we exclude, for example, this word from this set, then it will be a code. Also clear, because we cannot, in any concatenation of these two, we can only deconstruct in only one way. And then we have two questions. First of all, and it is not a new question, it is actually, it will be presented, for example, in this book. It is almost a classical book. Here you see 2009, but it is the, I don't know, 6th edition. And the first edition, it was in the beginning of the 80s, something like this. They gave already some algorithms to understand if you have a set of mixed set of words, how to understand if it is a code. But all these algorithms, they are very elaborating. These are many calculations and not simple. And this was our point, first starting point. Can we present a simpler way to understand if a mixed set of words is a code? It is the first question. And the second one, as you know, maybe we are dealing for many years with such concepts like circularity or comma-freeness. It is all about the maintaining the reading frame in the DNA. It was first occurred in this context. And the point is that the classical definition of circularity or comma-freeness implies that, you have a code. It follows from this definition. And so we asked ourselves, is it possible to generalize the definition? Of course, for the further, it shouldn't be the same for all examples we had before, but could we extend it to arbitrary sets of words, mixed sets of words, which are not codes? These two questions for this presentation. And first of all, I give you a definition we introduced actually for studying the circularity. A graph, we have a code, then now a set of words, and I will give you example immediately, so don't try to understand these formalities. We map to this set to a graph, construct a graph according to the set, and then we can simply see in the graph if the code earlier, now a set of words, is circular or comma-free. I will explain you how it is. So the vertices of the graph, these are prefixes or suffixes in this set, but only not the whole words, proper suffixes and prefixes. And we connect if we have a word where this pair is a prefix and a suffix. And here an example, we have an alphabet A, B, C, D, and we have such a set of mixed set of words, and we will draw the graph. For example, we beginning with this. Here there is no a proper suffix or prefix, so no vertex. Here the same, but in this situation we have, for example, A is a prefix, it is here. Then BC is the corresponding suffix, BC, and this arrow represents then this connection. Then we have also as a prefix AB, it is here, and the suffix C, it is here, this connection. Then we have, it is all for this word, only two possibilities. The next one has three possibilities. It is A again, but with another suffix, BCD. Then AB with another suffix, CD. And ABC as a prefix here with the suffix D. you see. And we see if we have words of length 1, it can be so, for example, if we had only B and B and D here and no these words, the graph would be empty. So it is also possible. And but excuse me, in this case we see easily that this set is not a code. Why? Because the word ABCD has two decompositions as itself and the ABC and the suffix D, for example. So, and then in this case it was easy, but let's ask how it is if the set is bigger, and of course the graph will be also bigger, and it is not so easy to see it, and how can we decide if this set is a code or not? For this, we color the nodes, vertices of the graph. Two colors. Okay, we said green and yellow because we had in the program these two colors. It doesn't matter which two colors, but two colors we need. And one color, green, in our case, we use for such vertices which are already concatenations of words from X. And other vertices are just uncolored. So, and then we have the following theorem. A mixed set is a code if and only if. It is important, of course, because it is a criterion. There is no path, a directed path in the graph, a beginning and ending with a green vertex. It looks like this. It is actually an example from the book I presented of these French guys, and they had two pages of calculations to decide if this set is a code or not. And so we constructed the graph. We colored corresponding vertices. Why we colored it? You understand how to construct this graph, no? And now we see which vertices are concatenations of the words from this set. This one, for example. Why? A, B, B, and B together. Then this one, 3B, clear, 3 times the same word B. Here, the word itself. Here, BB, the same. Here, we have a BBBA. It is BBB. Why did we color this one? This is the reason. So then ABB, the same, it's just a simple word from this set. And now we search for directed paths, beginning and ending with a green vertex. We have a lot of them. For example, this one. Or here in the example, it is we have chosen this one. And each of these paths, it means the set is not a word, a code, and each of these paths gives us a possibility to deconstruct in two ways. It is the reason of this. So then we have a very simple algorithm with 3 steps. Construct a graph. Calculate and color a subset of vertices, which are concatenations of words from the set, and calculate all paths, or at least one path. If you need all possible decomposition, then of course all paths between green colored vertices. That's all. I mean, of course, it is not that simple if we have bigger mixed sets. Of course, the graph is big, and we need, of course, a computer and so on. But nevertheless, it is a quite simple algorithm. And then we generalized the definition of the circularity comma-freeness and strong comma-freeness. Strong comma-free codes, it was our wording, but they were discovered in the 60s and with the name non-overlapping codes. So actually quite simple. We say a set is circular if its associated graph is acyclic, no directed cycle. Comma-free if the graph has only, if the maximum length of a path, directed path in the graph is 2. We have no paths of length 3 or more. And strong comma-free if the maximal length of a path is 1. It is, what is the reason for this? The reason is quite simple. In our previous works, we already proved that these properties of the graph, they are equivalent to the corresponding properties of the code, if it is a code. And in this sense, we never had words of length 1, for example. This is why we have written here, consider only words of length 2 or more. Then we have these 3 classical definitions: strong comma-free if no element appears both as prefix and a suffix, given in the 60s. Then comma-free if it's actually a definition by Crick. It was his famous definition of comma-freeness and hypothesis before, of course, the genetic code table was established, that the codon used of 64 are only such codons which build such a comma-free code. Then he said, then one can read without comma the text, and this is fine. But again, comma-free if every concatenation of 2 words does not contain as a substring any word from X, except of these 2, of course. And circular if any finite concatenation of elements from X, there is only one partition into elements from X when reading on circle. It is a difference, and this is the reason because the classic, this definition works only implies that we have a code, because if you can read in only one way on a circle, you can also read in only one way in a line. This is the reason. And it was also a problem we thought about. So then we have, it is boring but useful statement that if we have a circular set of, mixed circular set of words, we can represent it as a disjoint union of circular L letter codes. Let's say trinucleotides, dinucleotides, mononucleotides. This should be all circular codes. And the importance of this is that we can get this way the upper bound of the size of such mixed circular sets, because we know already what are the maximal lengths of codes of the same length. Just add. For example, for the trinucleotide codes it's 20, for dinucleotide codes it's 6, and so for mixed sets of this both it should be 26. The question is, of course, if this boundary is sharp. It is, but it is also a question. No? It is an upper bound of for such circular mixed sets of size. It is so, we said, if we decompose a circular mixed set into L letter codes, then they are all circular. But the opposite direction is not true. If you mix circular sets, you can get a not circular set as a result. Here's an example. These 2 are obviously circular codes. And if we mix and consider the graph, we get such a cycle. Easy. It is a union of two graphs. And it could be that we draw a vertex where it shouldn't be. So, and this property of circularity get lost. We have also in examples. Until now, I said all the time for codes it's all true, for all codes are all true. But the question is, do we have non-trivial examples of circular mixed sets which are not codes? We have, and this is one. For example, we have the mixed set of these two circular codes. And it is not a code. Here is the coloring not given. Can you guess why it is not a code? Looking at the both sets, this and this one. This. So this one and this one, and we have a path here, and this is why it is not a code, but it is a circular mixed set. Why circular? Now you can see for yourself that we don't have a cycle in this graph. Then what does it mean for biology? Some of you have heard already about the maximal self-complementary circular code, the C3 code found in genes by Christian Michel. Statistically, it is a pure statistical observation, and after that he found all these mathematical structures in this. I don't write this code because it is of no use. You can find it in I think almost every of our papers, the code itself, and we consider this denucleotide maximal self-complementary denucleotide circular code consisting of 6 denucleotides. I told already that it is the maximal size, and I will not prove here why it is self-complementary. Just look. AT, what is the complementary denucleotide to AT? It is AT, no? For GC is the same, AC, what is GT here? And GA, it is TC also here. It is self-complementarity, you can see it for yourself, but circularity, of course, we can draw the graph, but no time for this. The main result is, if we mix these two, this maximal circular C3 self-complementary code found by Christian, and this maximal circular self-complementary denucleotide code, together we get a mixed circular set. More importantly, it is the only possibility, because all other mixed, all other denucleotide maximal self-complementary circular codes, they don't lead to circularity in this mixed set. And it has, of course, some consequences. I will show you further. But now I'd like to summarize what I wanted to say in this presentation. First of all, we developed a new mathematical concept of circular mixed sets. Then circular mixed sets are interesting because they allow to code a high amount of information in the construction frame compared to the classical circular mixed codes, because you can read some strings in many ways. Then we generalized our own definition of the graph, and adopted it to searching for this property, are you a code or not? And at the end, this concept can provide the basis for a mathematical structure for a new evolutional model of the genetic code that could have evolved from a dinucleotide world to a trinucleotide world, because there is a hypothesis that the amino acids weren't always coded by 3 letters, codons, but to some time by words of length 2. And how was this transition from the dinucleotides to trinucleotides? It's a question, because it was not like somebody said, from tomorrow you will get another genetic table. It should be a process. And here we suggest such a model step by step. In the beginning, we consider only 2 dinucleotides which are self-complementary, and you have seen already AT and GC. They are in our dinucleotide code. Then next step, all 6, so we can code for 6 amino acids. Then we begin to concatenate. If you concatenate 3 dinucleotides, you can read it as 2 trinucleotides. And these are some concatenations we can get from this, some codons we can get from such concatenations. Then step by step it grows and grows, and it becomes the code by Christian Michel. Here it is, and in some step where it is here we have, here we don't have. So in some stage the dinucleotides don't play a role anymore, and only trinucleotides are used further. Yeah, that's it actually. So thank you. So please ask questions. This is, excuse me, I have a list of references, and this is the recent paper published in Biosystems, where else, and this is the paper with this new concept we published just a month or 2 months ago. So.
Thank you, Elena. So we have time for one question, maybe. Nicola, please.
Yeah.
So basically you try to tune this system to some evolutionary concept.
Yes, of course.
Do you at this moment have any idea how can be applied to measure sequences of evolutionary phylogenetic trees?
We have some ideas. It is in work. We are working on the next paper with Christian. He had, I've never have seen him so excited. In January, it was like, but now we are again in thinking, because we have some strong statistical results and we are trying to explain it.
I asked that because I will show some problems. I mean, some results with the deep nucleotides
you see.
in the evolution.
Maybe we can merge this.
There are some strong similarities in possibility to analyze the system. So I guess we'll see what's...
Yes, but we are really satisfied, because it took almost 2 years, so it was really strenuous, but in the end we are satisfied.
Elena, thank you for perfectly being on time.